All right. Andrew Jones, Tar Heel Illustrated. Only known you for a while. So you guys are a little more than a week away. You get a chance to play somebody tomorrow night without going into the secret scrimmage because it's a secret scrimmage. How anxious are you to see what the guys look like against somebody else who's running different stuff and you have to defend things you guys haven't been seeing much in practice?
No, I'm really excited about getting out there on the floor and playing against an unbelievable opponent in Johnson C. Smith. It's an emotional game for me because that's where my parents went to school, and so that's why we're playing them. And so, but I'm really excited for our guys to get back out there on the floor. It's been over 200 days since the last time that we played a different opponent, and I'm excited about our improvement, the things that we've been working on, the things that we want to get better at, and just giving them an opportunity to be out in front of a crowd, and it also signifies that the season is, in terms of the regular season, is really close, and that's something that I'm really excited about.
If I can ask a quick follow-up. Seeing Pete and Armando playing together, how long do you think it's going to take before you have a really good idea of exactly how they complement each other?
I have a great idea of how they're going to complement each other already. You know, they've been together for the last 3.5 months, and I've, specifically in practice, have put them together because in the 4 years that Armando has been here, he's had 4 different running mates. And so it was really important for him and Pete to be able to develop that type of chemistry, and I love the way that they work together. Their skills complement each other. They enjoy being on the floor together. It just works, and I'm excited for everybody to be able to see that tomorrow.
Hubert, C.L. Brown, Robinson Reserve. In what ways have you seen Armando grow? He talked about it at Media Day, his freshman year, sometimes feeling like he couldn't play at this level and if he should even transfer back then to where he is now.
Well, every year he just continues to improve. Specifically from last year to this year, defensively, his intensity, the way that he's guarding ball screens, he's always been able to guard guards out on the perimeter. So I feel like from a defensive standpoint, he's much improved, even though I thought he was really good last year. But his attention to detail, his effort, his enthusiasm out there on the floor, having that every day at practice from an experienced player is extremely valuable. I think from an offensive standpoint, he's gotten better handling the basketball. A lot of times when he gets a rebound in practice, I allow him to bring up the basketball and he makes good instinctive plays, and I think that's something that he hasn't done in the past that I feel very comfortable with him doing this season. He's getting more comfortable shooting the ball from the outside. One of the things that I do in practice is I tell him he has to shoot at least 2 threes in practice. And so his hard work over the summer, continuing to work on his perimeter game, I think is going to take his game to even a different level. And, the way that he rebounded last year, he's doing the same this year.
Awesome. Shelby Swanson, Daily Tar Heel. I also had a question about Armando. So he was talking at the ACC tip-off, kind of joking that Roy and now he says that you guys get on him the hardest out of any player. Do you agree?
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Could you just talk about how, I guess if you don't agree with that, how hard do you think you are on Armando, and what about his character allows you to hold him accountable?
Well, one of the things that I always tell the players is it's a good thing that a coach talks to you. When a coach doesn't say anything to you, I think as a player you should be worried. The worst year that I had was a year where a coach didn't say anything to me. And, for Armando and for all of the players, one of the things that we want for them is we want them to reach all their individual dreams and goals. And in order to do that, there's a level of commitment and desire and effort and enthusiasm that you have to bring on a daily basis. And things for Armando, because he's so gifted, things at times come easy for him. One of the things that I always tell the players is that every player goes through this, whether it's in high school, college, or the NBA. You're always going to reach a level where everybody can do the same things that you can do. So when that happens, not if, when that happens, how are you going to differentiate yourself against the other player that can do the same things that you can do? And it's going to be the attention to detail, the fundamentals, and the hard work, and that's something that we talk to Armando a lot all the time.
Coach Davis, Ross Martin in South Carolina. On topic of Pete Nance, kind of makes his debut, I guess tomorrow, one of a few debuts. Have you been surprised by anything from him in terms of how he's played, what he's done, based on what you thought about him coming in?
No, from a basketball standpoint, I haven't been surprised at all. I mean, he's an accomplished player. He had an unbelievable career at Northwestern for 4 years, and you know, at 6'11". You know what I am surprised? I'm surprised he's with us and he's not in the NBA. You know, where basketball is at right now with mobile bigs that are super skilled and can do a number of things on both ends of the floor, he fits the type perfectly. I mean, he's 6'11", he can guard 1 through 5. When he rebounds the basketball, he brings the ball up the floor. From an offensive standpoint, he can score in a post, attack the offensive glass, but he's an unbelievable passer and screener, and he shot 45% from 3 last year at Northwestern, so he can shoot the ball from the outside. Probably the thing that is amazing, not surprising, but is amazing to me is he's only been here, and this is the only way that it reminds me of Brady. He's only been here 3.5 months, and it feels like he's been here for 4 years. The relationships that he has with the coaches and his teammates, it's been seamless. It really has. And so to think that 4 months ago I never had talked to or met Pete Nance, and now I can't imagine him never being here, or never coaching him, or him not being a part of my life, that just, I couldn't imagine that.
Is there a way to scout that personality dynamic that you think will mesh
No.
in the short amount of time?
and that's the cool thing about it. No. I mean, Brady, he hadn't lived anywhere other than Oklahoma before he came here. He didn't even take a campus visit.
Yeah.
I talked to him on a Tuesday. He committed on a Friday. I knew the game, but I didn't know the person. I knew Pete the game, but I didn't know all the person. I mean, obviously we've had conversations, and he came on a visit, and we were able to spend time together, but you just never know. And it hasn't been good. It's been unbelievably great.
Hubert, Brendan Marks from The Athletic. One similar question to CL, but about Caleb. Just from the point that he was at, at the start of last season, trying to, reestablish himself, regain his confidence. How much growth have you seen from him mentality-wise since then, and also just in terms of his offensive game and rounding himself out?
Well, I mean, Caleb, he continues to improve every year, but the Caleb this year doesn't even compare to the Caleb last year. There's a number of areas that I feel like that he's improved a lot. I think on the first part, from a defensive standpoint, I think he can be a lockdown defender. And his ability, his athleticism and size at the wing position, he can do a number of things, and he can change and affect a game on the defensive end. And I really feel like coming into this year, he really has a full understanding of that. From an offensive standpoint, he can score anytime, anywhere, with the ball, without the ball in his hands. But one of the things that I have challenged him, and I really believe in this, is I think he can lead the ACC in assists. His ability to create shots, not only for himself, but for others, is a gift that he has. And I've really encouraged him to use that gift consistently out there on the floor. But this is a thing that you get when you have returning players and you have consistency in terms of guys coming back. Like, Caleb is like my second voice. Like, he's talking to the teammates. He's echoing, or even before I say something, saying it to the guys exactly before I say it. And so having that type of leadership, and then you combine that with his gifts out there on the floor, I just do. I love coaching Caleb. I just do. And I want things to work out for him, and I want him to have just another unbelievable season.
And I had a question about another returning player, Leaky Black. In a recent Chapel Borough story, he talked about how when Roy retired, he was kind of considering some different options, potentially transferring, but he knew that when you were named the head coach, it was like a given that he was gonna return to Carolina. Just talked about kind of the passion that you guys both share for the university. And I just wanted to ask like how your relationship with him has evolved over the years, especially this last year with you taking over the helm.
Well, you know, the relationships piece with the players, it really hasn't changed from being an assistant coach to the head coach. Just to give you guys some insight, they were over at my house yesterday. We had a pumpkin carving contest, and you know, over half the guys didn't. This is the first time they ever carved a pumpkin. You know, and we put them in specific teams. We had all of our kids be the judges. Armando, tell him he came in last. He came in last, and Seth and RJ came in first place, and so in terms of relationships, that hasn't changed at all. I've always told the guys, I can't coach you unless I know you. You can't play for me unless you know me. And so the only way that I can get to know you and you can get to know me is we got to spend a lot of time together. And so I don't know how to do it any other way. My relationship with Leaky is very special, but I have special relationships with everybody on the teams because that's at the top of the list of why I do this job and why it's so enjoyable is relationships that I have with each one of the players.
Yeah, I guess as a quick follow-up, could you just touch on how his, I guess, confidence in his game has grown over the years? I know he's talked a lot and been very open about kind of some anxiety he's faced in game situations.
Well, I think that comes with experience and success out there on the floor. As I said before, I'm making an argument that I think he's the best defender in the country, and he's also gifted on the offensive end, being able to use his size and athleticism to be able to score on the offensive end. And just over the years, he continues to grow, not only on the court, but off the court. And again, having somebody that has been a part of this program, whether with me or Coach Williams, is a huge benefit to have that type of experience, not only on the floor, but also in the locker room.
Adam, we got time for about 3 more questions.
Hey, Hubert, Adam Smith, Inside Carolina. Let's see, since we talked to you last in Charlotte, you've been picked #1 in the nation, and you've been picked to win the ACC. I know it's not terribly surprising stuff, but does the message that you're giving your guys just daily, do you change any of that when you get placed up there on like the #1 line in the top 25 or anything? Do you shift it? Do you tweak it? Do you add anything to what you're telling them?
No, I haven't shifted, I haven't tweaked, I haven't done anything. My communication with the team has been consistent and clear. The rankings, the noise means absolutely nothing. You know, one of the things that I talked about last year, and I told the guys to put down and turn down or turn off the noise from the phone, the family, and the friends, and I said it was coming from the direction of criticism. This year, it's coming from a different direction. It's coming from praise. And so one of the things that I talk to the team about every day is, I know it's coming from different directions, but it's still noise. So the noise of criticism or the noise of praise does nothing for us. It is of no benefit of us to be the best team that we need to be. And let's just focus on what is real, and what is real is our preparation, our practice, and how hard we play. And if we check those 3 boxes, at the end of the day, you'll be happy with the results. But those are the things that you have to focus on.
I've got you, sorry, CL. Yeah, I know that the Rutgers scrimmage, you guys agreed not to let too much information get out. As Kirk said.
Pretty well about that.
It is a secret.
Close.
Yeah.
Some of our readers are very curious about just what happened. Not in a bad way, they just want to know, is there any insight that you could just give us in terms of your takeaways, how you felt it went, what you liked, what you didn't like, just how it went?
No, it was good because it highlighted and it affirmed for us what is going to allow us to have success. And I was straightforward and direct with the team last year. I'm straightforward and direct with the team this year of how important it is for us to check 3 boxes. The first one is we have to be a great defensive team. That was the biggest change for us last year, is that we consistently became better defensively. We have to be a great rebounding team. I thought we were 1 or 2 in terms of percentage defense rebounding, but we were a middle of the road offensive rebounding team. I want to be better at that. and we've got to take care of the basketball. That's huge for us, and when we check those 3 boxes, we were very successful. And so in that scrimmage, it gave our guys a clear picture of how important that is, and when you do that, how successful we are as a team.
Last question, CL.
Hubert, in what ways, as you sit here today, do you feel more confident or better as a coach in year 2 than, you know, maybe a box you hadn't checked off in year 1 that you weren't sure about?
Yeah, I mean, so many people, you know, ask me that question, is, you know, year 2 different than year 1? I really don't think it is. You know, I've only been a head coach for 1 year, and right now I'm still in a position of listening and learning, and I've talked about I love being in that position to listen and to learn, and I have a lot to listen to, and I have a lot to learn as a head coach. But I do know this, CL, I love being here. I love what I'm doing. I know why I'm here. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve these kids. I'm here to serve this program and this university and this community, and to think that I had always wanted to be a part of this program, and I was as a player, as an assistant coach, and now as my 2nd year as a head coach, it just puts a smile on my face. I'm right where I want to be, and I'm really excited about what this year is going to bring. I'm excited about what stories and memories that we're going to have with this year's team.
Coach, thank you. We'll get Pete right in here.
Thanks, Coach.